Some people today say that God speaks to them audibly. And I do not want to say that He doesn't. I do want to offer some caution about that. The Bible in a number of places, even in the New Testament, warns us not to be deceived and not to think that we can't be deceived. Warns us about self-deception. And if I say God spoke audibly to me, then that would seem to have as much weight as Scripture. And I know Scripture's right. So I can tell you, in my own experience as a Christian, there are sometimes when I think the Lord has told me to do something, and I've done it, and I haven't seen anything really come from it. There are other times the Lord has told me to do things, I think the Lord has told me to do things, impressed on my spirit, whatever the best language would be, and it's been extraordinary. I mean, it's things that I would have known how to plan, but I don't think this happens to most Christians, and it doesn't happen always to me. It's not anything I rely on or depend upon in that sense. So basically, I think God is sovereign. He can do what He wants. But I want to be very careful, particularly if I'm a teacher, if I'm teaching publicly. If I say that, if I make people kind of especially in awe of me and very careful, they better not cross me, I want to be careful about that. That's not good for pride. That's not good for the authority of Scripture. It's not good for what God's doing in other people. And I also, on the other hand, don't want them to make them think, hey, the Bible's the kind of grade B boring thing. I want the real, I had the experience, let me hear from God, then I'll really know. I just think, let's leave that to God. He can do that as He wants. We don't have in His Word any promise that He's going to do that. And therefore, I think it is unwise to talk publicly much about that. I will share experiences that I personally have had with reticence in small groups occasionally. And I think I'm kind of doing what Paul did in his example of, how he was careful. And I haven't been caught up in the third heavens, but how he was careful about even sharing what the Lord taught him. So I think a lot of Christians probably have experiences like the ones I'm referring to, but I think it's appropriate that we be humble and realize that we could be wrong about them. But you know what? We're not wrong about this. So we want to put our emphasis in public on this.